Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely mind-blowing. We're going on an awe-inspiring journey deep into the human body to look at the hidden, microscopic miracles that take place during the third week of pregnancy. If you're trying to conceive, or honestly, if you're just fascinated by human biology, this is where things get really interesting. Because unlike the first 2 weeks, pregnancy week 3 is often the exact moment when the magic of conception actually happens. Okay, let's dive into this, because right off the bat, we're looking at a completely mind-bending biological paradox. I mean, how in the world can a doctor tell you that you're 3 weeks pregnant when the developing embryo inside of you might literally only be 2 or 3 days old? It sounds like a total math error, right? But it's actually the standard way the medical community tracks human reproduction.
So here's the deal. There is a massive difference between your medical date and your actual biological reality. You see, pregnancy is usually dated from the very first day of your last menstrual period. That means the first 2 weeks of your pregnancy are really just your body preparing for ovulation. So by the time the medical calendar officially calls you 3 weeks pregnant, you've only just arrived at the moment where conception becomes possible. The biological clock is just beginning to tick.
Section 1. The Spark of Life. Ovulation and Fertilization. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it all starts. During the first part of your cycle, a follicle in your ovary prepares an egg. Right around ovulation, a surge of hormones triggers the release of that mature egg into the fallopian tube. If sperm is present from your fertile window, they might meet, and if just one sperm successfully enters that egg, fertilization happens. And what's wild is that the moment this genetic material combines, it forms a brand new, single, microscopic cell. We call that a zygote.
Look at everything packed into that one tiny single cell. The zygote's entire genetic blueprint is already completely locked in. Biological sex? Determined. Inherited characteristics like eye color or hair type? Already set in stone by the combination of genetics. But I definitely want to reassure you here, while this blueprint is incredibly detailed, we are dealing with a microscopic collection of cells. It's perfectly normal that there's no recognizable face, no arms, and for sure no baby bump yet. It's just a tiny, invisible spark of life.
Section 2. The Great Migration. The Journey to the Uterus.
Things move incredibly fast here. After fertilization, the zygote doesn't just stay put. It travels, and as it moves, it divides. Rapidly. 1 cell becomes 2. 2 become 4. 4 become 8. Over just a few days, the cell count literally explodes as it rushes toward its final destination. It's a frantic, microscopic sprint. By the time this little cluster nears the uterus, it transforms into what's called a blastocyst. It's still unbelievably tiny, but these cells, they're already getting super organized. They're taking on highly specialized roles. Some of these cells are destined to become the embryo itself, while others are forming the outer layer that'll eventually become the placenta, which is that essential support system that will supply oxygen and nutrients later on.
Section 3. The Implantation Milestone. Making a home.
So the crazy race down the fallopian tube wraps up, and things have to slow down for a massive milestone. For the pregnancy to actually continue, this little blastocyst needs to attach itself to the lining of the uterus. This is implantation. So the crucial point is that once this attachment begins, the cells associated with the developing pregnancy start producing a very specific hormone, HCG. This is the exact hormone responsible for signaling your body to maintain the pregnancy, and spoiler alert, it's the very same hormone that home pregnancy tests look for.
Now, early on, the amount of HCG your body makes is incredibly small. So if you take a test around week 3 and it's negative, please take a deep breath, do not panic or get frustrated. A negative result right now doesn't mean pregnancy is impossible. Your body might just be so early in the process that your HCG levels are simply too low for a home test to detect. Timing is literally everything.
Section 4. The Symptom Illusion. What you feel, or, well, what you don't feel.
Right, so it's the most famous pregnancy symptom in the world. You might be wondering, if conception happened and cells are multiplying like crazy, where on earth is the morning sickness? So many people assume that nausea hits the exact second conception happens. But that's actually a total myth. Nausea and vomiting generally don't kick in until around weeks 4 to 6 of pregnancy. So if you're 3 weeks pregnant and you feel absolutely fine, that is completely normal. Your body simply hasn't reached the massive hormonal threshold required to trigger those classic pregnancy symptoms yet. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the trickiest parts of week 3.
Sure, some women do notice subtle changes, maybe a little mild cramping, fatigue, tender breasts, or bloating. But guess what? The early symptoms of pregnancy are virtually identical to normal premenstrual symptoms. Because the signs perfectly mimic PMS, symptom spotting during week 3 is notoriously unreliable. You literally just can't tell the difference based on how you feel.
But even if you don't feel different, there are all these silent, invisible changes happening right now. Progesterone levels are surging to keep the uterine lining intact, which is what stops your normal period from arriving. You might notice your cervical mucus changing, getting clearer and wetter to help sperm move. And you might even see a tiny amount of pink or brown spotting when implantation happens. But again, these signs alone can't definitively confirm a pregnancy.
It's honestly the great irony of week 3. From the outside, you look completely normal. You're going to work, you're cooking dinner, hitting the gym. Nobody looking at you would have a clue. But inside, it's a literal microscopic fireworks show with millions of carefully coordinated cellular processes firing off.
Section 5. Taking control. Preparing for what's next.
Let's move to and see how this builds into actionable steps. You definitely don't need a positive test to start treating your body like it's pregnant. Go ahead and eat a balanced diet, stay hydrated, and make sure you're getting enough rest. It's highly recommended to avoid smoking and alcohol right now. And of course, start opening up a dialogue with your healthcare professional about prenatal care.
And one absolutely vital thing to talk to your doctor about is folic acid. It's so important because the baby's neural tube starts developing incredibly early on. In fact, this development often kicks off before a woman even misses her period or knows for sure that she's pregnant. Getting ahead of this is just a fantastic proactive step.
Now, it's also really crucial to know your body's warning signs. While some light spotting or mild cramping can be perfectly normal, there are times you absolutely must seek urgent medical care. If you experience heavy bleeding, severe abdominal or pelvic pain, fainting, or severe dizziness, please contact a medical professional immediately. Early pregnancy pain and bleeding can have several causes, and prompt assessment is incredibly important for your safety.
As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a really reassuring thought straight from our sources. Every single pregnancy develops differently. Not every woman ovulates on the same day. Not every fertilized egg implants at the exact same time. Please, whatever you do, do not compare your symptom journey with anyone else's. Sometimes, the most extraordinary changes begin with absolute, complete silence.
Week 3 is all about beginnings. An egg, a sperm, a microscopic new life making its incredible journey to the uterus. Your body might look exactly the same on the outside right now, but what microscopic